So you always fall for food cravings whenever you get an urge. Sometimes you even prepare for urges. In this video, I'm going to be explaining 2 quick reasons on how to overcome binge eating urges in 2 minutes. Number 1 is cold water immersion. So you splash yourself with cold water whenever you get an urge to binge eat. And the reason why this actually works is because what happens when you're having an intense craving is your heart rate increases. You're in a fight or flight mode, and splashing cold water triggers the mammalian dive reflex. This is what happens when we jump into the sea that's quite cold. Our body naturally has a survival instinct to calm our heart rate down, to slow down our heart rate. So when our heart rate is slowed down, we're more able to think more rationally without using emotions. We're able to think more logically on, okay, is this binge eating episode going to benefit me? What am I actually looking for? All those kinds of things. So splash yourself with cold water and see how you feel. It's basically a reset button. Number 2 is implementing urge surfing. So urge surfing goes by the idea that urges are only temporary. If you get an urge, it doesn't mean you have to take action instantly. This is used in smoking therapy, alcohol rehab, to prevent any intense addictions. So urge surfing goes by the idea that urges only last for 30 minutes. So if you get an urge, then try to hold yourself back, implement a coping mechanism. So check the link in the description for my coping mechanisms ebook, which is free to download, which offers tons of different coping mechanisms which you can use to prevent binge eating urges and cravings. So we often think that urge equals action, but that's not true. There is a gap in between where you're able to think about it and think rationally, but sometimes we're so used to cravings equals action that we even prepare for binges. Especially if you have ADHD, the gap is so small that you think urge instantly equals action. If you try to implement coping mechanisms in between that urge and action, then you might binge, but the more you implement it, the gap becomes wider, and then you're able to think more logically and able to break those urges. So try to implement urge surfing as much as possible.